Hello and welcome. I'm Carmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I empower you to understand why you're here and how to live on purpose and in divine harmony. I interweave numerology, angel guides, astrology, theta healing, and coaching to guide you along your spiritual journey. Every week we have a discussion, and this week's discussion is how to have a stronger connection with your pets. And I'm so excited to have my special guest, KJ, here. Say hello, KJ.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
After spending 13 years as the co-host for the award-winning Smiley Morning Show in Indianapolis, KJ's no stranger to using her voice to better her community. And now many people know her as the founder of the Kinda Nerdy Girls podcast. I love that name. A fun and often funny look into fandom from women who work in the entertainment industry. She's also the Kitty Correspondent on the national syndicated show Pet Pals TV. Gotta check that out. And she's recently joined the acclaimed new show Paranormal X Road, featuring an all-female paranormal crew bringing peace to people experiencing the paranormal. And I'm so excited for our conversation today, and there's so much more to talk about with everything you have going on. And today we're going to talk about how to have a stronger connection with your pets, which is a very timely conversation since I just took my cat Treasure to the vet.
It is. I know how stressful that can be. I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that today, but I'm glad that she's home with you and resting, because there's nothing more stressful than you have to leave your pet sometimes at the vet, but boy, it's hard to not be with them when you know they don't feel well.
I know. And so you and I were talking a few weeks ago, and that's why I said, oh my gosh, KJ, you have to share this with everybody. And I'm going to let you do your thing and share all your wisdom with everybody. The biggest thing that you had shared with me was the chakras and the cats, and that one space for the cats where you touch them. I'm going to let you tell everybody about that, because that's been magical.
Sure. So, I'm happy to talk about, the chakras. I think, and I was in this space at one point when I really started to open myself up to, the spirit energy and such, that I didn't really think about the fact that, like, our animals need to have a balance of, body, mind, and spirit as well. And so when you start applying the things that you've learned in your spiritual journey and realizing that they are a part of it, you can actually assist them in being their best selves. And one of the really cool things that I've learned in doing chakra work is that our pets have an extra chakra. Now there are a lot of, we've got minor ones. They've even got minor ones in their paw pads and things like that. But this chakra that we're talking about, when you're imagining a pet's body, it kind of is, it's similar to us, where we go from the root, we go up to the crown. They have what is called the brachial chakra, and it is actually kind of between the shoulders. And instead of, like, we think about the chakras as kind of running this way, they've got this extra one that runs this way, and it is specifically for their attachment to their humans. They have a chakra that exists so they can bond with us.
I love it.
And I just don't think enough people realize that. When that hit me in the work that I do with shelter pets, and I have 6 rescue cats of my own right now, and over the years so many more, like, understanding, oh my gosh, like, these animals in their existence and their spiritual existence, when we need a way to connect to our humans, and it is an energetic way that they can be a stronger, more bonded animal in your life, specifically to you.
And is it underneath or on top?
Yes, it's kind of like side to side here if you look at shoulders. So we're used to when I work with chakras, and I, encourage people, if you've got like your third eye needs to be cleared, we'll do clearing. Like we work on, kind of like, let's pull out negative energy. So if we're looking at that, you can do that from both sides, right? We've got our chakra energy is working this way. With the brachial chakra, it's working this way. So
Yeah.
we want to, you can kind of almost like hug them, like hug them as you work. It's really great. I was like, is this a real thing? Like, this sounds too good to be true. But you can, and in animals, they, you have to really pay attention to their energy fields because they can be very, very big. So when you're doing that, you kind of have to figure out like, what are they comfortable with? Do they want your hands right on them? Do you start further out? Like if we were working with a shelter pet who's very scared and clearly does not, is not familiar with a bond to a human, we're going to start further out and then just try to, work our way in. And again, same thing, you want it to spin, right? You want it to spin it as big as we can and get it bigger and bigger so that it fully encompasses their energy field and really helps them feel connected. Even if you're just a human that's going to be fostering them, or you're a human that is, going to be, just a part of their lives for a little while, you're a groomer, whatever, like you can really kind of hone in on how they connect with us by paying attention to that chakra.
Are there any other chakras you can think of that are good to pay attention to?
With our pets, it's just understanding that they've got the same ones that we do. So you really can work with their chakras in the same way that you do. If you, I use a pendulum to check mine. However, when I do that, they're usually sleeping. Yes,
I
right here.
if you did that. I love it.
Yes, they are usually sleeping when I do this,
Okay.
or I will do it from a distance. So I am a second level Reiki practitioner, which allows me to work with energy from a distance, and that's really great when I am working with animals. One, because your your cat sees this, and especially like you put it up in front of their third eye and it starts spinning around, and it's like, this is the greatest toy ever. I can do this myself. You know? But when they're sleeping, it's really great to be able to gauge. So just know that their chakras are, same place on their body as ours are. And then we've got the brachial one here, and then we've got a lot of the minor ones are in their paws and in their paw pads.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then can people reach out to you and hire you for the Reiki, for
Yes.
that Reiki?
Yes, absolutely.
How does
You
that
know,
work?
if you want to reach out to me, if you go to kjonair.com, there's a contact me form, and just contact me. If we're on Facebook and we're connected, I'm working on getting like the full website thing going, but for right now, it's just kind of been word of mouth. I've had so much going on in my media life that the work that I did with animals was sort of for my pets and my friends. And if I was working with a shelter pet, and as I realized, I think probably for you too, Carmen, when when you're in tune with something and it just seems so natural to you, you think everybody's doing it, right? I'm like, wait, not everybody is checking their pets' chakras. um so yeah, I'm always happy to check and see if we need to align, and balance out chakras. Reiki treatments are great, especially if you're talking about any kind of stress, whether it's travel, a trip to the vet, if they need to stay, maybe with what Treasure is going on right now, your cat. I mean, it just like Reiki is such a great tool to help us as humans connect with the universal life force. It's really, really fantastic to introduce that to your animals and assist them in balancing their energy, because part of their job, they realize that part of their existence, their purpose, we're all trying to find our purpose.
Mhm.
They know their purpose is to take care of you. And so they absorb so much of our energy that if you can help them balance that out, then they are going to help you in turn be more balanced.
I love that. I love that. I never thought about their purpose, and it's so true.
It is. And sometimes when I work with people, especially if we're working on a behavior thing, so with my KJ's cat care, I do a lot of Reiki work. I do a lot of behavioral stuff. I'm not a certified behavioralist. They go through the science of everything, and oftentimes I will say, I'm going to refer you to someone to really get into the science of what is going on here with this particular behavior. But some of it is we're just dealing with a stressed out cat and figuring out why they are scared and how to make them safe. When we've ruled out that all of their health is in good order, it's just making them safe. And things like Reiki, things like checking their chakras, and then making some adjustments in your home to give them what they need to feel safe is all you need to do, and then they're happy and you're happy.
Will you talk more about that? What kind of adjustments would you make?
It certainly depends on the pet, but one of the things that I think I notice the most is that, especially with cats, they really need lots of things that are theirs. So
Nice.
they
Okay.
want to be up high. You got to think about them from their raw nature, their primal nature. They are prey and predator, and so they are constantly thinking about their surroundings in terms of, am I safe? And do I have enough to hunt? Right? Like, even though we feed them, they still are their body, their natural pattern is to wake up, look around, make sure they're safe, find something to hunt, eat, go back to sleep in a place that they feel like they're safe. Like, that is it. That's what their bodies do. We sleep, we hunt, we eat, we sleep. And so giving them a routine can be one of the best things you can do. So waking up in the morning, playing with them, getting their hunting instincts out, then giving them a really good meal, and then letting them go someplace up high, or if they're a ground dweller, giving them things they can get into where they feel safe. It's amazing little things like that. If you pay attention, like if your cat likes to sleep under the bed, they're probably scared, like, and we don't want that. We want them to feel safe. So we want to bring them out. Like, do you want a cat bed that you feel safe in, that cuddles you? There's actual beds that when they get in it, kind of like,
Nose.
right, they sink right into them and they
Yeah.
love them. And then there are cats who want to be as high as they possibly can get. And instead of trying to climb your curtains, get a cat tree so that they can sit up there and feel like they're ruling over their kingdom and feel safer. So,
That's Bubbles. Bubbles likes to be up high as she can be.
yeah. And you can't, when I talk to people, there, we can train cats, we can modify things, but there are some things that they just inherently need to feel safe. And so if you pay attention to what they do, they might not be trying to irritate you by getting up on your refrigerator. They might just be saying, I like to be up high. Can I have a cat tree, please? Right? And that'll solve the problem.
I I love it. I follow a guy on TikTok. He's got multiple cats and a dog, and he actually trained them to go to different places. They each have like a panic room area. They
Yeah.
train them to go to if somebody comes in to his house that's not him.
Wow.
I know. I'm like, I want to know how you did that. I could not
Yeah.
do that. So
That's pretty impressive. And yeah, we do talk sometimes about with cats, it's a little bit different, but they are very food motivated. And so I mean, we even have some really great experienced clicker trainer people here in our area that will help you with the treat, click, train method for cats.
really,
Yes. Yes. I think we've had this mentality that, you know, cats don't listen, cats don't care. And so if you have a cat, they come into your house and they're going to do whatever they want. And if you, I mean, some of it you can change and some of it you can't, but we can change a lot more than we think. And so, if you are someone who meditates and you're like, oh, my cat will never leave me alone, I'm trying to meditate, and he rubs up against me, it's okay to put your cat in a room by himself with a bunch of fun toys and things that are going to distract him. Like, you're not being mean. Like, you can establish, like, these are things that I do that you don't get to be a part of.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a space for them that's got their favorite toys, their water, things to distract them, a window, they're fine. They're like actually used to being on their own. If they were out in the world, they would be on their own. So it's
Exactly.
okay to be like, you're going to be on your own while I do some things. You don't actually get to just walk all over my keyboard and do whatever you want.
Exactly. I love that. So, what other advice do you have for people who really want to, you know, bond with their pets or their cats?
Yeah, I think if you start with that chakra stuff and really you don't need to be you don't need to be attuned to Reiki. You don't really even need to understand energy that much, even if you're like, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. When we choose to tune in to our pets, they are so they are so in tune with energy that they understand what you're doing. I always say, if I'm going to, give them some energy or help them clear a chakra, that I ask that they accept it. We don't want to, we never want to put energy into someone that doesn't want it. And if they don't want it, let's give it up to the highest good and let it go where it needs to go.
Yep.
Typically pets will love the fact that you want to tune into them energetically and help them because they get it. They exist on an energetic level. So they're human going, hey, I can connect with you. They're like, yeah, let's do that. It's really amazing. I encourage you to learn about not only Reiki, but some of the other ways that you can holistically approach your pet's health. Our vets are very, very important, and we have a wonderful vet. Our vet, the vet that we go to, also understands holistic healing, and there is a vet in the practice that is a chiropractor. There is a vet who does acupuncture. They have laser treatment. We do some herbal treatments with some of our pets. So I always encourage people to really expand what they think pet care is and think about their pet in a holistic way from a body, mind, and spirit connection. Like, how can we balance out the entire pet? There, all levels for them. There's even some really great. I have a very dear friend, Cindy Huff, who is a fantastic pet communicator and is trained in healing touch for animals, which is you can get certified in healing touch for animals. And so there's just so many modalities and ways that we can really enhance our pet's life. And sometimes using those methods will just relieve the stress and make what the vet needs to do a little bit easier. And sometimes we can accomplish what we need to with our pets when it's about well-being, without using medicine. So if you can get a vet who understands, I want to approach everything holistically, and you start looking into what you're comfortable with and how you like to treat your body, apply that to your pets, because chances are there is someone in the area who is treating pets in that holistic way.
I love that. I I notice from time to time when there's other spirits with me. Typically I feel them, and if I'm not
Mhm.
feeling them right away, all I have to do is look over at Treasure because she's doing one of these things and looking up.
Yes.
And so I feel like somebody's there playing with her.
Yep. Absolutely. Cats especially, and again, I may there may be somebody watching who's like, my dog is just in tune as a cat. I just happen to work with cats more. But cats do especially keep their energy fields bigger because of the fact that they are prey. I could go on and on about the unique space that cats have to occupy. Rabbits are the same way. If you have a rabbit for a pet, because of the fact that they are prey, there's a lot more work to do in making them feel safe, because it's just their nature to not, because they want to live, and so they're supposed to have this big energy field to watch for danger, right? And so even being able to communicate with your pets, you are an you're an indoor cat, and you can bring that energy in. You are safe. Like, you can help them. They will understand that. And if you communicate that to them, you will see them respond. They're like, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
Like, really? I can relax.
Mhm.
Nothing's gonna eat me. Like, no, you're a house cat. Bring that energy in. It's okay. And so really connecting in that way, it changes your entire bond. And it makes you realize that they are a partner in your purpose and
Mm.
what you are trying to accomplish, and they want to help you in your purpose.
Girl, I'm so glad you said that. So I learned theta healing a few months ago, and it's all virtual. And I meet with clients via Zoom. And I kid you not, every session so far, Treasure has to be right there. And I tell them, like, she's helping me.
Yep.
It's just, it's an automatic. She sits right there,
Yeah.
does her
Abs
thing.
it's really amazing. And I mean, we had a black cat for years who knew when our friends were pregnant. I mean, he had no desire to really be around anyone. He was the king of, right about the time that you were getting your coat on to leave, he would come downstairs and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were leaving." I was like, "Yeah, right." But if one of my friends was pregnant, he was like, "Shh, hello, sit down on their belly." I mean, like, it was like he was like, "Let me help you. I gotta protect the baby." And and there are stories. I mean, we have dogs that are trained to recognize when their humans are gonna have seizures before they happen. A lot of that is that ability that our pets have to tune into those things before we even are able to tune into them.
Well, and I know you and I talked about crystals too, because I work a lot with crystals. And I've used this is my crystal wand. So for those of you who are
Oh,
listening to this
nice.
on the podcast, come watch the video.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have one or not. I would, well, right, as long as they would sit still,
Mhm.
just kind of over the top of them
Yes.
to help cleanse their energy field.
Yep.
Um, and of course, they're like, "What is going on?" and "What is happening?" and they don't want it. And I'm like, "It's okay. Just stay still. It's fine."
Well, and I will tell you that sometimes, Carmen, even though it seems like doing this from across the room isn't effective because their energy fields can be so big, you figure out how far away they're okay with it. Like, just move a little bit further away, um, because they may still be enjoying it. They're just telling you, like, not too close. Like,
Ooh, never thought of that. Good.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, that's part of the reason with a lot of animals that I'll do the distance, Reiki, and also I kinda pay attention to, how intense it will be for them, because their bodies are so much more compact than ours are, that even when I'm, doing a hands-on treatment, I almost, like, dial it down to where, like, it's like I imagine it like the light is coming out, and it's usually this big, and now I'm gonna make it this big for you. Because they're like, "Okay, like, this is great, but overload, man." So yeah, you just gotta kinda think about it from their perspective and how little they are, but they have these big energy fields, so it's figuring out. It may feel weird, but if you set the intention for them and you say, "This is what I want to do, and I'm gonna use this crystal, and see how close you can get." The one cat that I worked with who had seizures, and we did crystal work with her, and specifically with her chakras to really kind of keep everything aligned, because when she would have those seizures, it would disconnect, right? And like almost like she couldn't even get back into her body. And so it was like, we got to keep everything here. And we started out with the crystals being on the floor in the places that we wanted them to correspond to with her chakras. And we moved them slowly closer and closer. And about the last 6 months of her life, she would let me put those crystals on her body.
Nice.
She would lay down, and I literally would put a crystal like on her crown. It went down her back, so it correspond with the third eye and the throat. And she would literally just lay there and let the crystals be on her. And then when she was done, she was done, right? Like it's like they're like, thanks, I got what I needed. So she would stand up and they would fall off, and I would put them back in her pouch. And it's kind of cool now because it's like one of those things that I have that has her energy. I have the stones that we used to treat her with. And sometimes I'll just like, when I want to feel close to her, or I feel like she could help me with another pet that I'm working with that's having seizures, I get those stones out, and it's like I feel that, I still feel that connection.
Yeah. Will you share with everybody about your cat club on Facebook?
Yeah, I would love to. So I started this club, one because I love cats, and I like to post lots of pictures of cats. And anybody who likes to do that, this is a place you can do it, and you're not crazy. However, I get a lot of questions because over the years, even through my radio show and such, people have sort of learned that I have a lot of knowledge about cats, and so I will get a lot of questions, and I can't work with as many clients as I would like to. But I want to make sure that the information is out there. And so, thank you, Katie. Cat Club is a way to really learn about some of the things we've been talking about tonight, whether it's chakras or healing touch for animals. What types of cat trees are the best? What types of interactive toys can you get that will help your cat who has too much energy and you don't know what to do? How to prepare and set your pet up for a trip, how to prepare them for a vet visit so it's as less stressful, and the holistic ways that you can look into when you're talking about behavior or any kind of health issue. So it's a part entertainment and part knowledge, and it is all support. So it's a really wonderful community of people who share their knowledge, and I learn from them as well when it's a new question of this is going on with my cat. Everybody will jump in and say, oh, I had that happen once, and here's what we did, or here's the product that helped us, or I mean, it's a really neat group to be a part of, so that we can all support our cats in being their best selves.
Absolutely. And I'm going to drop links of where everybody can find you as well. And besides the Reiki, how else can they, work with you and the pets?
Yeah, so like I said, Reiki is great. Behavior stuff, I'm happy to help with. I always start with, I'll tell you that get your pets to the vet. Any kind of behavior stuff, especially when we're talking about cats, we got to have a clean bill of health before we just start digging into behavior stuff, because there's only so many ways they can communicate with us. And the last thing you want is to realize there was something wrong and they were in pain and we weren't addressing it. So I'm always happy to help with that. Cat Club is a great way to join me, and I am on a mission always with Pet Pals TV to share positive stories of pet ownership, specifically with cats, because cats get a bad rap, and we need more positive stories about how wonderful they are to have. So those are sort of the pet ways that we can interact together. And then you see this explosion of nerdiness behind me. So if you've been looking at all of my Marvel stuff and Star Wars and you're like, I want to be involved with that, I have a community called the Kinda Nerdy Network. That is our community for nerds, by nerds, and all nice nerds. So you're welcome to join us there. Our podcast, Kinda Nerdy Girls, is just a place to chat about what we're watching. I started watching The Nevers today. I'm really excited about that new show on HBO.
Okay.
Carmen, yeah, have you heard about this?
No.
You will love it. It is set in the Victorian age. It is women who have superpowers. They're called the Touched, and they are like kicking butt and keeping everybody in line. It's fantastic. It's like Sherlock Holmes meets supernatural. It's wonderful, but it's women. It's all the women that have these incredible powers that are doing these amazing things.
I
So,
love it. So where can people find the Nerdy Girls stuff?
yep.
Is it Facebook group too?
There is if you go to kindanerdynetwork.com, you'll
Okay.
find the Facebook group and you'll find our podcast and all the links on how to listen. Friday nights we go live in the Kinda Nerdy Network and just chat about the movies and shows we've been watching, and we always have fun topics like if you could be if you could take the place of any science fiction character, who would you want to be? It's just a really fun social time, and everybody supports each other. So people, we find out what our nerds are doing as far as gaming or stores or starting a new job, and it's a great place to be if you want a community that's going to get behind you in everything you do.
And share everybody this new Paranormal X Road and the new event you have coming up too. Share that with everybody.
Yes. So tying in the energy work that I've been doing for years with pets, and my nerdiness, which has included being very interested in the paranormal my entire life, I am now on a new show, and it's I have said this a gazillion times, so do not feel bad. It's Paranormal Crossroad. We thought we were being cool with the X, and now we're like, we need to spell out cross.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. So it is an all-female investigative team, and instead of going out to the famously haunted places that you're used to seeing the ghost hunters doing, we are going into people's homes who are experiencing the paranormal, or maybe they are experiencing extreme grief and don't know how to connect to their loved ones. And we are bringing peace. We bring our equipment. Kitsy Duncan is my co-star and co-investigator, and she has spent 3 seasons on Amazon Prime's Oddity Files, and now she's taken all of that experience and her spirit box and dowsing rods, and I bring my pendulum, and we are just we're out there. We're actually looking for homes right now, homes or workplaces. So if you feel like you are trying to connect, or someone's trying to connect with you and you're having a difficult time, you can go to pxroad.com, watch our show, which is we have 3 episodes now. A 4th one drops next week, and there's a contact form there where you can reach out, tell us what's going on. It's kind of a Oprah style paranormal show. It's, if you're nice to the spirits, they are surprisingly willing to talk.
I love it.
So it's a very exciting journey, and along with that, meeting some of the people that we have, and trying to share with them, like we've shared tonight, Carmen, some of the ways that you can connect with your pets. It's all about energy. It really is. Like, we can all do this. It's a part of who we are. You have an energy field, you have an aura, you interact with people's energy all the time, you interact with your pet's energy. If you walk into a room and there's somebody there and they don't feel right to you, that is your intuition, that is your energy.
Yep.
It's really something that you can tap into. And so we have a workshop on the 22nd called The Basics of Spiritual Energy. I will be doing a session on your chakras and your energy, and sharing more about what we've talked about tonight, diving a little bit deeper into how to connect and how to understand balancing your chakras. Kitsy is going to bring her some of her tools along for the virtual workshop, show you how the spirit box works, show you some apps on your phone that are legitimate and can help you in communicating and understanding what the spirits are doing. Yes, there are a gazillion apps, right? But there are some that are truly legitimate that we actually use on our investigations that you could start using right now to help you in communicating with the spirits. And our spirit medium, Tiffany Rice, who is just absolutely incredible and so spot on and such an important piece to what we're doing with Paranormal Crossroad, is going to do a session on tapping into your intuition, showing you how she learned how to really get in touch with her gift and be able to communicate with the spirits so that you can level up and start doing this too.
Nice. And we also gave everybody a promo code for our viewers.
Yes. So for Carmen, I appreciate you so much having me on. If you go to pxroad.com, you will see the basics of spiritual energy, the link to our Eventbrite. And if you use the promo code JOY, JOY, you are going to get 50% off the workshop.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We just, we're really about helping and showing people. I was in a place at one point in my life where I didn't understand any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just didn't get it. And sometimes it really scared me. And so if that's where somebody is and you just want a safe space where you can learn some things, you can sit at home, be a part of the workshop, ask questions, watch what we're doing, and really get your first steps into how amazing it is when you figure out, my life can be so much better when I balance every single part of it.
Yes. And with the work that I do, I focus on the human chakras and energy and the spirituality piece and the connection. And that's why when I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, I want other people to know that it's the same thing with your animals.
Yes.
So a lot of times I'll encourage people to go on a walking meditation. I don't know if you've ever heard about that or not, where you go and you give thankfulness for everything around you. And I always tell my clients, go by yourself. Don't take your dog for a walk. Don't take any pets with you. See what animals come to you.
Yeah.
But don't take anybody else with you. And they're like, why? And I said, because their energy. Because you'll pick up on theirs, they'll pick up on yours, and it shifts everything versus when you go by yourself, then it's a whole different experience.
Yes. Yes. And it's funny that you say that. My Siamese cat, Amelia, we do something. She tries to do it every day. I'll tell you, I'm not always completely in tune with it, but one of her favorite things to do with me is we call it the appreciation walk. And she makes me she comes running and she'll jump up wherever she is to get eye level with me. And she gets so excited. I mean, it's almost like a dog, we're going for a walk, aren't we? And she walks me around the house and she rubs against the wall and she rubs against the furniture. And it's like, she's like, I love this. And I love this. And our toys are great. And this room is great. And she literally takes me on an appreciation walk. Now I will go do that in the neighborhood by myself, but it's so special. I've never had a cat do that. And when I realized that what she wanted was for me to just walk with her and be peaceful and be like, isn't all this stuff nice that we have? I was like, wow, she's like tuning into me going, maybe you need to settle down and just appreciate everything in this house. Isn't this just all so great?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, and I appreciate too that you guys are having this type of workshop. You are making it virtual. So not only people here in Indiana, anywhere can participate, because in my experience, it's all about experiences and having new experiences, because that's how we learn and grow is through an experience of some sort. And I watched the episode where it was your personal family members that you were communicating with. And that just totally blew my mind. I loved it.
I mean, it's so amazing, and really looking back now, very cool to have the first episode of Paranormal Crossroad was in my home. It's essentially my origin story for the introduction into joining the paranormal TV world. I had no idea when she came to my house to do this that a month later I would be joining her to do the same thing for other people. So you gotta trust the messages. And I've actually, every time I've gone back and watched that episode, I see different things and more pieces come together of how much I was being directed in listening to my spirits, listening to my grandmother, my father, and my mother, who were saying, this is your purpose.
Yep.
And so to be able to help anybody I can, whether it's coming to your house if we need to do a show, or doing this workshop, or just talking to you about how your energy and your pet's energy can intertwine and you can have a stronger bond. I want to help however I can.
Thank you so much. Do you have any final words before we depart this evening?
I do. I thought one more thing when it comes to your cats.
Okay.
Sit on the floor. Get on their level.
Okay.
It will, if there is one thing that will strengthen your bond quickly, it is sitting down where they sit. They dwell on the ground. If you can get eye level with them, do what I call soft eyes, which is basically blinking with, it's almost like, it's funny because eventually they'll calm down, even if they're staring at you like, I'm not going to blink. I'm not going to blink. You're like, oh, you're going to blink. We're going to calm down together. But they actually did a scientific study on this and trying to figure out why cats tend to bond better with women. And in everything that they found, it was because women sit on the floor more with their cats.
Nice.
The cats appreciate you being at their level, making them feel safer. You will be at their level energetically. You can then, I always encourage people, imagine just like a silver little light, like a little twine that goes from your heart to their heart, and you can make that even with them and tie that together, and then you can really, really get in tune with their energy. But they appreciate that so much. It's such a great way to strengthen your bond. So if nothing else, sit down on the floor with your cats.
I love that. And it's like, I think I do maybe once a day. So
I bet you do.
Yeah.
I bet you do. Yep. Even at the vet's office, when they're so afraid, sit on the floor with them. It helps so much. It just helps their energy for you to be where they are and see the world how they see it. It'll change things for you.
Okay. I love it. Everybody, please go follow KJ. The links are in a description box somewhere or in the comments, depending on
if you go to kjontheair.com, it's literally a hub for everything that I do.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining this
Absolutely
discussion. Thank you for all the work that you do and the help. And you probably heard the cats this evening.
I did. They know what I'm here.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening.